So, sorry it's a bit echoey, I'm trying my best. I've had a couple of you asking about how to set up and lay wood effect tiles. So I'm actually going to do a room, but I thought I'd go through some of the basics that I use and the things that I use and how not to, what I do to gauge out and how I lay the tiles. This is the wrong way to do it. Do not go halfway and brick bond. This is what you find on the outside of houses. Now the reason being is that from this length to this length you will create a lip, and it's harder to get the bow out of the tile when you're laying it like this. So they say that standard rule is a third bond, and this will reduce the lippage. This is one of the correct ways. Now you can see this is a third, so this tile is obviously 900. I love my little gauging stick. So 3, 6, 9. So obviously this gap here is 300. Now this is a uniformed effect of laying a floor. You can use this, and then obviously the offcut, if you're going against a wall and working off the wall, for example, like so, you know that this cut's going to be 300, this cut's going to be 600, and it'll be uniformed. If you want to try and get away from that, what you can do is you can just push this one up a little bit, have a smaller cut, the off cut from the other side of the room you can put on the next one, as long as it doesn't leave a short gap at the end of the wall. So this is roughly how you do it, and you get a really nice effect as well. So don't go over a third bond of the tiles. It's going to make it a better finish. So these tiles are rectified, which means that they are all exactly the same size. Now, if you're using a good quality tile, or they are rectified, this means you can get away with a 2mm joint. A 2mm, 3mm joint is going to look really nice. First of all, as well, I get a few tiles and I space them out. Sometimes I'll do more than this. This is just an example. So I might do, 8 or 9. And then I've got a measurement. So if I'm working in rooms, or I'm working off the center of the room and then working to the door, I can work out my cuts exact, knowing if it's going to be, I don't want to cut like this big in the room. So if I work it out and say it's like 530, I look on my tape and and that's a nice size cut, and then I've got that cut left over to the other side, etc, etc. So we've gone through how not to do it, to set out a few tiles so you can get your proper marks and working out. So if there's any odd bits in the room, you're like, oh, that's 680, where's that going to land? You can just work it out there without guessing, or if you make a mistake, you know 100% when it's out. And this is one of the ways, and the most popular way. Okay, so you've set up your room, you've worked out where your cuts are, or where your first cut's going to be, and then you want to start sticking. Now, I use a straight edge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come off this door to a whole tile. Now, I like to do 2 or 3, no more. Then I'm going to stick this row, these 2 rows in. Okay. Now, as I go, this means that I can put this cut in. So this whole section is going to be done. Now, the advantage of this is when you've put that whole section in, you've created like a spine. You've come off it and you've got something to work off. Okay, and then obviously you take your straight edge away, clean the adhesive as you go, keep the joints clean. Once you put that in, work out where the next 2 are going to go, make a mark, adhesive that up, and then start with your next rows in. Okay, so we're talking about gauges. So this is a stick that is the same length as the tile, and I have measured on it 3, 600, and I use this as my gauge. Because I use self-leveling clips, what I can do then is, instead of keep getting a tape measure and trying to measure out where the tile's going to go, I can get that gauge stick and I can put it there. Now, I also know, okay, for example, if I put it there, that my next tile is going to be there. So I make a mark, and I can make a mark. I can then put my leveling clip in here and here, maybe here and here, take it away, and then I know that when I put my adhesive in, I get to that point and that's a full tile. because obviously, same again, you're not going to know how far to adhesive over, but I just leave it like that. And because I know that's a full tile, I keep adhesive down to there, put my clip in, and then when I put my tile in, it's all good.